What's up everyone, I am the Hommeyosh and welcome to my channel, where we explore the world of game development, 3D design, and animation. Today we're unlocking the powers of Unreal Engine Sequencer, and I'll show you how to add character animations to Unreal Sequencer the right way. So let's dive into some animations, and we're starting right now. Okay, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go into the marketplace, and they always have some good stuff, some free items. Just go on what's free for the month, and I found this was a real good map. It's a village, so I went ahead and put that, I added to my cart, and I went ahead and downloaded it to my library here. So if I go down to my vault, I keep all my products. I'm just going to start looking for the village, and there it is right there. So I just went and added it to my project, and I got my project here. So I'm just going to dive into that. You can create whatever project you want and just add it to it, or you can just start from scratch. It doesn't matter. What I like about this, if you look when you open up your content browser, you go to your content and you'll find village, and under village there'll be maps, and it gives you a whole scene. That's what I like about it. So I'm just going to go under the village level, and I'm going to open that up. Okay, now that it's opened, I'm gonna do a little flyby here. I'm holding my right mouse button and I'm hitting the W, S, and A keys to navigate around here and look at a nice little view. Just want to back up. I think I'll start with this house right here. A faster way is just click on the object that you want and just hit F, and you'll zoom right into that. So I want to start right here. So I hit my F, left to right. That looks like a good scene to start. So I'm going to come up to the top left here, and I want to start a new sequencer and just add level sequencer. Okay, so I already got a little, I just like to make a little folder, video and animation, and I'll keep it the same, new level sequencer. Change the name if you want. I'm going to go ahead and save it, and then you'll get the sequencer with the timeline pops up. Top of the bar here, you'll find that you have camera, which I go ahead and click that, and that gives you the camera for the whole scene. So if you look, it doesn't give us a lot of time. So what I'd like to do is I'd like to hit the control key, hold it down, and spam with the middle mouse wheel, and just stretch this out a little bit. And then I take this little red, I guess the end line, and just move it over something good like 540. But always make sure you grab your camera and stretch it along. Pull it out to the same length, otherwise you'll just get blank screen. Yeah, this is all just black screen right here. This is the camera. So just make sure you pull this out, the cinematic view. Or when you go ahead and render, you're just going to get nothing but black. Alright. So now we got our camera in this thing. This is our camera right here. Now to toggle on and off the camera, if you look left to the timeline on where it says cinematic camera, you'll see you can unlock camera. So you can toggle on and off. So if you need to work on something, you turn off the camera, and you can go and say you got to do something over here. But then when I'm done, I just hit the camera and I'm back in the viewport. Or you can just, if you're off the camera, you can just click on the camera and you'll get a little window with the camera in it. You go ahead and, but you really can't control it, which I don't like. So I like to control it, so we can add it to our timeline and move it along in each scene. Okay, so next what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a character blueprint. Now in the description I had a video for how to use Mixamo and add in animations in your character. So I'm not going to do that. I'm just, if you want to watch, if you don't know how to do Mixamo and add in animations and you don't have a character, just go ahead and watch that video and come back to this. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I uploaded my characters. I have this little, let me go to my content browser here. Under my characters, I have this Mixamo menu that I have. That's where I put all my Mixamos, where I categorize everything. And then I have my animations. So I got just one character here. It has his skeleton, it has the physics, and here's his animation. It's just a jog animation. So I'm just gonna have him jogging down the street. I call him my hipster, he looks pretty hip. He's got his headphones on, his hat, he's ready to go. So what I'm gonna do is I am going to start a blueprint. And I'm gonna make it a character blueprint. And I'm just gonna call it my jogger BP. Okay, so I'm going to open Jogger BP. And while I'm in here, to the top left, this is basically everything that's inside of my character blueprint right now. Inside this capsule, and parented to the capsule, its children, is the mesh. Now the mesh is what I want to change. So I'm going to go into the mesh assets folder, and I'm going to go and open up the jogger mesh. So we got the jogger mesh inside the character blueprint. I'm going to go ahead and line him up. I think he's a little too big, so I'm going to drop him down a few. 9.9 should be good. There we go. Alright, so now he is at the right size with the capsule. Let's just adjust him. He's adjusted. So I'm going to go ahead and compile that. So now if you want to add in his animations, we're using use animation blueprints. We are using use animation assets. So after that's clicked on, you can go ahead and click on your animation, and there he goes. So I'm going to compile. But for now, I want to keep his animations off. I'm going to do something real quick. Go to clear. And I just want to show you what I like about using character blueprints instead of just dropping in the animation. Is if you wanted to add in something to your character, you could just go ahead and add in a regular mesh, no matter what it is. If it's this, you can use skeletal mesh or static mesh, but I'm just going to use a static mesh. And I'm going to come over here and pick my static mesh. I just want to do something that stands out. So let's do a sign. And let me put a sign up above his head. There we go. And I'm also going to put in a rotation. Rotating movement. Actually, I'm going to get rid of it. That's experimental. We're going to get rid of the rotating movement because I'm scared it's just going to rotate my character instead of my mesh here. So now what I want to do is I want to go ahead and make sure that this is connected to the character's head, but something is wrong. I'm just going to go ahead and delete this and start over. So we'll go in and add a static mesh. But, oh. I have an arm. Yeah, that's why I'm not seeing it. Okay. So we added in the static mesh, and let me go back to that sign. Okay, now it's in the hierarchy. So I'm just going to pull this on top of the character. So now it's parented with the character instead of the blueprint itself. So let me bring this up here. And now I can come to the parent socket folder and I'm going to attach it to his head. So let's move that in the back to the right position. Pull up on a -90. Okay, so now I'm going to compile, and let's make sure it's saved. And I'm going to go back to the character, and I'm going to add his animation, and you can see it moves with the character. So that's great, that's part of our animation. You don't have to do that, I just wanted to give you an example if you wanted to add a torch or anything to the character, or some headlights, whatever you want. So I'm going to go back into this folder, make sure we saved a blueprint, and I am going to add the character inside the scene. So I'm going to take my blueprint and move him in. There he is. He's looking pretty good. So now that I got him highlighted, I'm going to go over here to track under my sequencer, and I'm going to add to sequencer. And as you see at the top, it has my jogger. So I'm going to go ahead and add, so I'll have to search for him. So while got my jogger just dropped in the hierarchy here under sequencer, I'm hitting this little plus sign for my tracks, and I'm going to add in the animation, his jogger sequence. And I am going to stretch this out to the full length. Okay, so now I also want to add in a transform. So now when I move a character, I can add it to the sequence. So I'm going to have my character start right here. Move in a little bit. Make sure his feet are... We got him the wrong way. Now here's another thing. He is really blurry. So I'm going to highlight my cinematic camera, and I'm going to come into my details panel. And this is where the magic happens. So under the details panel, you scroll down to current aperture, and you want to turn that all the way up. I don't know why it's just like that, but it is. And as you can see, that cleared our character up, our screen, looking pretty good. So you can also mess with this. Now what I like to do is zoom in on the character, make sure get that selected. Okay, enable look at tracking. So we want to select the character, so actor to track, so it has the jogger. And if I go ahead and add that tracking, no matter where I'm at, it's going to track the character. See, it's always looking at him. So let's go back to where we were. Straighten it out. Okay, so I'm going to get out of the camera view now that that's done. And then you can mess, there's other settings down here that you can mess with if you wanted to make what I like to go under, was it camera options, lens, depth of field, exposure, lens flare, image effects. Now this is pretty good for your sharpness. What I like to do is just turn this up. There's also ones that you can highlight and experiment with, but I found out these ones are the best so far. It's just turning those two up. I have no problems at all. Okay, so next what I'm going to do is, since we got the, I'm going to add we got the animations already added, so he already walking, that's fine. So now we got to set his transform. Let me get back over here. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and key his position, and this is his start position. So, and then what I'm gonna do is he's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Let's call it 20. It's like, say, 40 steps. So we're gonna do 20 big steps. So I'm gonna hit my, here go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And I'm just gonna move them down here. Oops, I gotta go back. I messed up. So I'm just gonna move the character all the way down there. First, I gotta move my timeline. I'm gonna move my timeline first, and then I'm gonna move his position down there. Hit my F and make sure he's on the ground. And then I'm gonna go ahead and key him in. Back to the starting point. Now if we come back to the character starting point, he's starting on the timeline. I brought this back a little bit because I noticed when he first starts out, he kind of like starts to look like a tune. When they start to run, they stand in place for a little bit and build up their momentum. So I'm pulling it back just a little bit more. There he goes. Now he's walking on there. So, because I guess he started up there, so we want to bring him down a little bit. So let's focus on him. Okay, so right at that point in the timeline. No, when you're moving, panning your to look, make sure you're away from these things, because that always frustrates me. It's like, I was trying to look, I wasn't trying to move the character, I was trying to move the screen. And the character ends up moving, and it destroys your whole animation. Oh, I had him in a good spot. Alright, so I'm gonna hit transform. Alright, so the transform, that's basically his scale, his everything of the character. Location, rotation, and scale. We're done. Okay, so let's start over. Let's see how well that takes. When he's in the snow from the beginning, you could probably just cut that part out, or you can just keep messing with it. But as you can see, he's back on the ground. So I think I'm gonna mess with it a little bit. I think we have time on this video, so right there. Let's pull him up. And I'm gonna key in the transforms. Pull him back. Now this could make it or break it. And it looks like it made it. He's looking pretty good. He's just running down the street. It's like a normal day. And there he goes. He's having fun. Now, let's render her out. Now, we're going to go ahead and click on the camera view and see how it looks. He's just running down the street. There he goes. Now, we're going to have to probably set a path for him, but that's on the next video. For this video, this is good enough. I like this. So let's go ahead and render this out. I'm going to show you how to do that. That looks pretty good. And we can also, let's animate the cinematics of the camera a little bit. So what I want to do is start moving it up a little bit. So right about here, click on the camera. Well, first, pull back to the beginning. And you'll notice that the camera has a transform as well. And you hit the little pair, it has location, rotation, and scale. So this is, make sure you're on the right one, because you got a transform for your jogger BP, which is down here, and you get a transform for your camera. So I'm going to go ahead and hit key in the transform, and I'm going to slide this out to right about, let's say, here. And we're just going to move the camera forward a little bit and up. Right there. Let's hit the transform. Oh, we're almost on the wrong one. Showing you what not to do. So we go back to the beginning. All right. So there he goes. So we're just watching our character going down the street. And it really didn't take a lot. With the help of Mixamo animations and just keyed in 5 key points, 6 key points, we made a nice little animation that you can actually add in some snow, some sound, whatever. So for rendering the video out, you just go under this little render this movie and just go ahead and click on it, and it's going to give you a bunch of settings. So under these settings, what you want to do, you don't have any audio, you really don't have anything. What I like to do for cinematic purposes, it is good to have a 24. If you ever watch any kind of like, you know, Jurassic Park, any kind of movie that's really stands out, Steven Spielberg, with really good shots, they have it at 24. I don't know why. It's just, it's a nice little camera trick. It's good. I like it. I tried it. It's good for video games for like 30, 60 higher, but 24 seems good for videos. Okay, so make sure you want to put it in a correct spot. So if you hit those little 3 dots next to it over your output directory, that's going to give you where it's going to go. Where do you want your movie to go? So I'm going to put mine somewhere else. I'm going to go ahead and blur this out. I'm going to go put it in, just put it in my videos. That'll work. So I got a little video U5. Yeah, I'll take that. But the name here is world. Like that. File name, let's call it something else. Let's call this. Okay, and then you just go ahead and capture movie. And save and select. So now, depending on what your performance is on your computer, this could take a while, this could be really fast. It's all depending on the render. Oh, well, he's walking on air again. He starts off pretty bad, but well, that's good for this demo. I mean, I would go back and I would mess with it a little bit, but I feel comfortable enough. It's good for the video. Well, so that's it for this video. So if you just go into your folder, you'll find your video, and till next time, keep creating.